But wait, there's more. That's right, the gift that keeps on giving. We are back to the 1.8T Jetta today. So let's see what mayhem we can get into, because it needs a little bit more TLC, because Jetta. So that's right, my name is Brendan, aka Cliff Jumper. Welcome back to the channel. If you've been following along for a while, this car has been giving us the gift of many 20-year-old car problems. Plus, she's a little extra. Yeah, a little extra. Anyway, today we are doing some follow-up work because we've had a long list of things that have had to be done in the car, including very recently a head gasket. And she is running nicely, which is a nice problem. She's drivable, but we have a check engine light for the O2 sensor. So we're gonna go ahead and do both O2 sensors today, as well as, since it had a blown head gasket, it's got fresh oil in it. We've run it for about a week with the fresh oil, but there was coolant in the oil. So we're gonna go ahead and change the oil out for some fresh stuff, just because. So make sure we cleared out all the crap that was in the system and she's good to go. So that's what we're doing today. Now, before we get to the oil change, let's go look at the catalytic converter situation underneath this car. So, if you've never had the joy of doing a cat on a Mk4, they are, there are two of them on this particular model. One is right on top of the cat here, and the other is up there. So they're not the easiest to get to. And I'm going to hit it with some spray penetrating lube on both of them before we even attempt to start to loosen them. I'm pretty sure that both of these are the original units from forever ago. So we will lube them up before we engage. So there we go, right up there. Get some penetrating lube. If you've never done an oil change on a 1.8T before, you may notice some variety here. We've got the main oil fill right here. This could be a 19 millimeter, it could be a 17, it could be a 16. There's a variety of sizes that these come in. And if you have an aftermarket one with a magnetic tap on the end of it, it might even be a 14. So measure up before you try to loosen it, and you end up stripping the thing, is a good rule of thumb. But always have a bunch of stuff around here to catch the oil, not just the oil drain pan. Unless you really like oil on your driveway, I always put a catch pan on the ground. They're a couple bucks, so very worthwhile investment. 5 minutes later. So in our case here, the oil drain bolt turned out to be a 19 millimeter. So go ahead and loosen it with your wrench, and then just to prevent mess getting all over your tools, you can usually just unscrew them by hand and be ready with the drain for the initial squirt as it comes out. And the oil color looks pretty decent, which I'm not surprised, because it's only got about 500 miles on it from when we did the head gasket. So it's in good shape, which is great. Wouldn't expect any different. We are just flushing it out because there was coolant mixed in, and we want to get all of that out of there to prevent any corrosion to the parts of the motor that really need oil as the lubricant and not coolant getting in there and rusting stuff. And one of those, while we're under here, I can tell that our dog bone mount bushings are pretty toasty, pretty oily. So we will be changing that mount pretty soon. I'll probably just get the upgrade kit for it and swap out the bushings themselves. Okay, got a new crush washer on here. Does not need to be Kung Fu Voodoo Monkey Death Grip tight, just guten tight, as the Germans say. Alright, so that's on. Dealt with the oil filter previously, so actually don't need to deal with that because it's fresh. And we can go put some oil in it, but before we do that, of course, we're going to go deal with the O2 sensors. Alright, we got the special oxygen sensor removal tool on the oxygen sensor with the breaker bar, so hopefully it doesn't take too much Kung Fu Voodoo Monkey Death Grip. Oh wow, look at that, it just cracked loose right away. That is fantastic. So that's nice. So that's the first one cracked loose. The second one actually doesn't look that bad back up there, and based on I'm seeing this exposed wiring here, this actually looks kind of fresh. So wondering if we did this already at some point, just releasing them from the clips. There's a thermal blanket that isn't in great shape, but it protects the wiring. So I'm going to unclip that, release this. Well, this is not very quality looking. So I'm wondering if maybe at some point these were replaced and maybe they weren't high quality replacements. I'm not sure about that, but we'll deal with that as we get to it. In the meantime, let's do what we can to release the other one over there. We're going to turn our attention this is where the connectors are, so it just takes a 10mm to remove this bolt right here that is holding the cover in place over the connectors. So let's deal with that. Two 10mm. Okay, and there we have our connectors for the O2 sensor snugged in there. So we'll go ahead and pull those out. All right, those are free. I hate these push in, pull out Volkswagen connectors. Sometimes they work really easily like that. Sometimes not so much. All right, both of them came out easily. Great. Oh yeah, look at that. That is absolutely toast. Okay, so this one definitely had an issue. Let's see how bad the other one is. Yeah, that one's pretty toasty also. So they look like they were replaced at some point. I don't see a whole lot of corrosion on the outside, but the insides are in really not great shape. So check engine light code for these makes total sense. All right, and we're going to put it in the fresh one, starting with the one that's kind of the pain in the butt on top of the cat. So it comes with some anti-seize on it. That's in decent shape. That's what it's supposed to look like. We're going to do our very best to get it in without fouling it up. Same sort of deal. Here's the new one. Got anti-seize on it. It should thread in nicely. And we will need to feed the cable and keep twisting the cable as we feed it so it doesn't turn into kind of a rat's nest of snarls and nastiness. Got all of the blanket in place. O2 sensors are snugged in. Nice solid clickies when they are happy. And each of these has its own spot where it is going to want to sit inside this protective connector holder. These are plastic nuts, so they don't even need to be guten tight. They just need to be barely tight in order to be properly set up there. Okay, so we've got the wiring in place. We've got everything connected. All looks good. And like that, she's back together. The oil is changed. Oxygen sensors are changed. Now the only thing left to do is to take this. Normally I would use my VAGCOM or my Rostec VCDS and deal with this, but I'm playing with the blue driver, so we're going to go ahead and use it to reset our codes. All right, blue driver is engaged. Find our blue driver app, fire that up. Yep, we will keep that vehicle. That is the one that we just did. And we will go ahead and do all system modules. This is going to take a little while. It took about 10 minutes the other day when I scanned it. So I'll go ahead and scan it for codes first. I know which ones are going to pop up. It's going to be the O2 sensor code and a secondary air code. Those are going to pop on this, so that we're going to clear those because we fixed both of those issues. The secondary air was the connector on the air pump had come off, so that's reattached and snugged up, and we obviously just changed the O2 sensors, so we'll go ahead and clear those as well. As soon as this gets done with its scan, we'll clear it and we should be good to go.
5 minutes later.
So as we thought, there were 3 codes, and I've just cleared them, so we should be good to go with this car. The blue driver apparently works fairly well on German cars, kind of like the Carly does. When it comes to Volkswagens, this is fine. So we're back to a good condition, and I'm going to go ahead and remove the dongle. No lights on the dash other than expected because the door's open and the brake's on. So good. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you again next time, and I'll give you a report on how the Jetta does. Hopefully she's able to tootle along without any more drama for quite some time. At least we're getting close to 200,000 miles. We're at 192, almost 193. So let's see if we can go 7,000 miles and hit the 200,000 mile mark without any drama. Place your bets in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. Make sure to hit like, subscribe, and share it if you know some car geeks that would be at least mildly entertained by what we do. Bye. See you next time.
And on that terrible disappointment, it's time to say goodbye. We'll be back.